Seoul Land 257 Original Novel DouLuo DaLu. Chapter 291. God Level Evolution, 8 Spider Lances. TL by Bagelson. A man-faced demon spider. This discovery made Tang San completely excited. Tang San. Originally released in all directions, the blue-silver domain quietly pulled back, only remaining frozen in the direction of the man-faced demon spider, firmly locking on. With this kind of unidirectional targeting ability, the man-faced demon spider wouldn't be able to hide from Tang San no matter how brilliant its hiding abilities were. Even though this man-faced demon spider's cultivation was just barely 50,000 years, to spirit beasts of its quality, cultivating to this level was unimaginably difficult. Tang San was determined to have its spirit ring. Swiftly approaching, Tang San suddenly turned illusory when there was still a kilometer or so to go, a pale blue ripple spreading from his forehead, immediately enveloping his entire body. Once he'd moved another 10 meters, his entire body, even including the sea god trident, had already vanished into thin air. This was the invisibility effect of the vast sea barrier that arose back when the sea god's heart fused with his skull spirit bone. With the lesson from the battle with the dark devil god tiger, Tang San decided to kill the later spirit beasts with his full strength, the faster the better. Therefore he used his stealth ability on the way. Even if a 50,000-year man-faced demon spider was powerful, it couldn't possibly compete with him in mental strength, and naturally couldn't possibly see through his invisibility. Moving closer and closer, Tang San restrained the blue-silver domain so that it wouldn't be spotted by the man-faced demon spider due to being too strong. By now it was late at night, the Stardow Great Forest was extremely quiet, even the sound of bugs was missing. Quietly sneaking forward, Tang San finally saw his target. The 50,000-year cultivation man-faced demon spider seemed much smaller than expected, not even the size of the 10,000-year man-faced demon spider Tang San saw last time. But its body was peculiar, apparently only around 3 meters in diameter, crawling close to the ground, 8 long legs retracted near its body. Its carapace was a strange dull golden color. Unless observed carefully, it would be taken as black. It didn't have any pattern. Laying close to the ground, it was almost invisible this late at night. Around it were more than 10 dark large webs, densely covering the trees. Tang San could feel their durability without even touching them. Having broken through 50,000 years, this man-faced demon spider could be called a man-faced demon spider emperor, clearly even more terrible than the pit demon spider emperor Tang San killed, because the man-faced demon spider's attacks were much stronger than the pit demon spider. Tang San stopped 50 meters behind the man-faced demon spider emperor, softly stabbing the sea god trident into the ground. He wasn't planning on using this divine weapon in this battle, but rather wanted to train the combination he'd been pondering earlier. Along with his strength increasing, as well as the abilities imperceptibly involved from the skull spirit bone, even though Tang San would be revealed from the vast sea barrier as soon as he attacked, some support-type spirit abilities wouldn't be affected, like flying or releasing spirits. His first spirit, the Blue-Silver Emperor, was quietly released under this effect, 9 spirit rings glittering together. Strand after strand of Blue-Silver Emperor began to circle in spirals around Tang San. Filled with a feeling of strength, Tang San slowly raised both hands. Combine, combine, Tang San constantly repeated this word in his mind. He sprang into action, his entire body leaping like a leopard. He nimbly changed direction in midair, his attack already begun. His left leg was instantly covered by red light, descending like a giant battle axe falling from the sky as he flipped. With an ear-piercing crack, an axe-like dark red blade of light suddenly erupted. The red light left after images as it instantly cut apart one of the black spider webs the man-faced demon spider emperor had put in place, then chopped straight at it. It was Tang San's left leg spirit bone ability, Orca Evil Spirit Axe, a powerful single-target attack ability. The man-faced demon spider reacted extremely quickly. Tang San's attack was too sudden, but its 3-meter diameter body still quickly shot out, spinning quickly like a millstone, exposing its belly and lunging towards Tang San. Tang San clearly saw that, unlike its black back carapace, the man-faced demon spider's belly was completely white. It might be described as a white human face, all features visible, just looking incredibly vicious. Especially its deathly pale eyes made people feel a chill from the depths of their hearts. 2 rays of white light instantly shot from those eyes, directly meeting the Orca Evil Spirit hatchet. At the same time, the man-faced demon spider's mouth spat out a large black spider web, frantically spreading out between it and Tang San. Those white eyes weren't the man-faced demon spider's true eyes, but rather one of its abilities. Its true eyes were below its head, 6 dark blue little eyes revealing an ice-cold and frightening light. With an explosive sound, the white lights were crushed by the Orca evil spirit hatchet, and at the same time, countless blue-silver emperor were already spilling forward like a surging wave, tangling together with the man-faced demon spider's spider web. The man-faced demon spider's web really was tough, but still far inferior to Tang San's blue-silver emperor driven by 9 powerful spirit rings. The blue-silver emperor directly showed the result of the first spirit ability, binding. Each blade of blue-silver emperor rolled up a large amount of black spider web, forcing open a passage and exposing the man-faced demon spider that was originally planning on using the spider web to catch its breath to Tang San. Tang San's third spirit ability had now also been released. The man-faced demon spider emperor only felt a sudden surge of energy below it. With a popping sound, 16 solid blue-silver emperor instantly shot out, cleverly separating its 8 spider legs and catching it in a 3-meter wide cage. It was Tang San's fourth blue-silver emperor spirit ability, blue-silver prison. Tang San's movements didn't halt after using these 3 spirit abilities in succession, fully linking up 1 spirit bone ability and 2 spirit ring abilities in a combo. His attacks didn't cease. On his right arm, golden blue light mixed with energy waves spreading from the red 5th ring of light. Tang San's right arm was bathed in the color of blood. At the same time his left arm swung, a golden light enveloping the man-faced demon spider. The Titan Giant Ape left arm bone spirit ability gravity control started. The man-faced demon spider felt its entire body grow heavy just as it had started to struggle, and the power it was preparing to erupt with was delayed by a step. But the carapace on its back still quickly split open, turning into 6 black giant blades that spun and cut at the blue-silver prison surrounding it. Meanwhile, it raised its 2 front spider legs, shooting 2 black rays towards Tang San like 2 black needles that instantly reached Tang San. In the dark night, attacks of this color were extremely frightening. With speed and piercing power, as well as the protection of its color, the slightest carelessness would lead to being hit. Unfortunately, Tang San had focused all his attention on sensing the slightest changes in his surroundings from the very start of his first attack. He spun as if completely illusory in midair at the same time as he launched gravity control, actually passing between the 2 black rays. He not only wasn't blocked, but on the contrary came even closer to the man-faced demon spider. Just now the first layer of blue-silver prison was already loudly shredded by the attack from the back of the man-faced demon spider's carapace, but just as it prepared to leap up under the restraint of the gravity control's pressure and take a distance from Tang San, large amounts of blue-silver emperor suddenly shot from the ground like lances, stabbing its body the split second before it left the ground. The blue-silver prison's variant ability, blue-silver thrust launched. This was the 5th ability Tang San used. The blue-silver thrust of course lacked the attack power to break the man-faced demon spider's powerful carapace, but the enforced 1-second stun still worked. The man-faced demon spider's plan to jump away was immediately ruined. Interrupting its ability made it fall to the ground again. And now, Tang San had also arrived within a 10-meter range. On Tang San's right hand, while not particularly huge, a lance sparkling with strange magic lines had formed. The 5th spirit ability, Blue-Silver Overlord Spear had already evolved. After reaching the 100,000-year level, its name had also changed, becoming the Blue-Silver Tyrant Spear 1. 100,000-year single-target attack spirit ability, and moreover an attack focused on a single point. Even though this was Tang San's 5th Blue-Silver Emperor spirit ability, due to being a 100,000-year level attack type, it was still the strongest of all of Tang San's spirit abilities in terms of attack power. Just how strong it was showed in how, even at his current cultivation, Tang San had to charge up his spirit power for a while to use it. The Blue-Silver Tyrant Spear was a bit different from the Blue-Silver Overlord Spear. It was no longer golden, but rather blood-red mixed with thin golden magic lines, looking extremely dazzling. All the energy around the spear was frozen, basically not leaking outside. The moment that scarlet light condensed from Tang San's hand was also the moment the man-faced demon spider was stunned for a second from the Blue-Silver Prison variant ability Blue-Silver Thrust. 1 second was definitely very short, but it was enough for Tang San to release his 100,000-year level 5th spirit ability. Like a roaring dragon with a sharp cry to break the sky, only red light flashed and vanished within 10 meters, intense red light instantly erupting in the air. But terrifyingly, its attack was only focused on a single point. When the man-faced demon spider sobered from the 1-second delay, it immediately sensed the presence of death. Its large body fiercely rolled back, even crossing its 8 spider legs in front of it. Having reached 50,000 years of cultivation, it couldn't be denied that it had an extremely sharp sense for danger. Or maybe that the blue-silver tyrant spear's aura was too overbearing. The point where its 8 spider legs met was just the point where the blue-silver tyrant spear struck. In other words, as that speck of red light crashed into the man-faced demon spider, it collided with its 8 crossed spider legs. Boom! With an intense explosion, a red halo spread out around the man-faced demon spider, mournful screaming rousing the quiet night. Within the violent explosion, its incredibly durable 8 spider legs exploded into fragments the instant they crossed. In fact, the man-faced demon spider's legs were the toughest part of its entire body, more than 10 times stronger than refined iron. The defensive strength of the 8 spider legs crossed could be imagined, but against the blue-silver tyrant spear's single-point attack they still weren't enough to completely block. The instantaneous collision immediately turned its defense to nothing. At the same time the man-faced demon spider's large body was flipped out, spinning backwards, hand slamming to the ground. At this moment it felt incomparably sharp energy pervading every corner of its body, basically making it unable to control itself. To spirit beasts, as long as their body still remained, broken limbs was nothing to fear. There was still a chance to regrow them, as long as they survived. Thus, as the man-faced demon spider spun backwards, even though the face under its belly was completely distorted, it still didn't forget to spit out a dense white mist, screening in front of it at the same time as its back carapace split open once again. This time it didn't use it to cut anything, but rather spun crazily, actually briefly working like wings and stabilizing it. That white smoke was definitely the man-faced demon spider's life-saving weapon. Even just spitting it into the air, even the atmosphere issued hissing sounds as if from corrosion. At the same time the white smoke extremely quickly spread into the surroundings, anything it touched instantly turning into a puddle of white liquid. It was terrifyingly toxic. Only, Tang San was now deep in a strange state. From the very beginning when he used the Orca Evil Spirit Hatchet, to connecting with the binding ability to break the spider web, then to the blue-silver prison to trap the man-faced demon spider, to launching gravity control to restrain it from breaking the cage, and to when the blue-silver thrust fought for 1 second of time to use the blue-silver tyrant spear's terrifying attack power, every motion was connected as fluently as clouds and water. In the process he used 2 spirit bone abilities and 4 spirit ring abilities, without showing any gaps in between. It really had superb effects. From the start of the battle to using the blue-silver tyrant spear to break the man-faced demon spider's 8 legs took just a brief 10 seconds. This was terrifying burst strength. From frontal attack to control, then back to frontal attack, the initiative had always been in his hands. He basically didn't give the man-faced demon spider emperor a chance, controlling it into absolute disadvantage. Only, at this moment, successively using 6 spirit abilities had left Tang San's internal spirit power a bit insufficient, the mysterious heaven skill circulation speed somewhat unable to keep up with the rate he used spirit power. He at least had to draw a breath and adjust his mysterious heaven skill internal strength to be able to use another spirit ability. And right now Tang San was faced with the white toxic smoke the man-faced spider emperor spit out, and it was also quickly using its back carapace to quickly escape. If it was in the past, Tang San would definitely choose to break open the smoke and then pursue the man-faced spider emperor from the side or above, while slowing his breathing and letting his internal strength even out. Like this he would stand a very large chance of defeating the man-faced spider emperor. But right now Tang San's mind was filled with the word combination, and basically didn't even think of slowing down. Seeing that surging white smoke roll towards him, his body reacted almost instinctively. His clear eyes flashed. At the same time as the blue-silver tyrant spear blasted away the man-faced demon spider, and it spit out the white smoke, 2 lines of azure light shot from his eyes. It was purple god light. Of course it wasn't the strongest form of purple god like he used to injure Bibi Dong, but just mental strength condensed into an instant attack. Its power was only a third of the full form purple god light. But right now that was plenty. At the same time as he shot the purple god light, he also drew a deep breath, immediately adjusting his internal mysterious heaven skill. Meanwhile, also the moment his purple god light shot out, the clothes on his back instantly split open, blood-red 8 spider lances quietly stretching out. A frantic suction power at the same time rushed from the tips of the 8 spider lances, and that enormous area of corrosive white smoke immediately condensed into 8 streams, forcibly swallowed by the 8 spider lances. The sound of a blast. The man-faced spider emperor hadn't planned its escape in detail, but that extraordinarily corrosive toxic smoke should have been enough to give it some time. Unfortunately, today it had met Tang San. The poison smoke could block his physical body, could block Tang San himself. but it couldn't block mental strength attacks. The azure light cut through the white smoke, heavily striking the man-faced demon spider that was just flying away. With a miserable shriek, the man-faced demon spider's body instantly flipped over. Stinking white liquid sprayed from its mouth and shattered legs almost at the same time. It was again seriously injured by the purple god light's mental attack, and even more unfortunate was that, with its not very impressive mental strength, the purple god light's attack directly knocked it unconscious for a short while. Its 3-meter body spun in the air, knocked upwards. Tang San abruptly leapt up, flying towards a spot in the air. And the moment he flew was also the moment and place where the man-faced demon spider's body was struck by the purple god light and flipped over. Practically everything was well planned. And right now Tang San was no longer encircled by the blue-silver emperor like before. In its place was a giant clear sky hammer. Gripping the haft with both hands, Tang San stretched back in midair, forming a semicircle like a giant axe blade. Seeing the man-faced demon spider soar up, the clear sky hammer he held instantly erupted with incomparably black light. Just at this moment, the clear sky hammer's 4 spirit rings glinted from bottom to top like a wave, the terrifying peak aggressiveness as if clear sky DouLuo Tanghao had descended. That clear sky hammer's total volume had grown by a full 30%. With tyrannical black light, it heavily bombarded the man-faced demon spider's body at the same time as the blood-red death god domain instantly erupted. Bang boom! The terrible explosive force was reminiscent of a thunderclap within the forest. The man-faced spider emperor was forcibly smashed down like an artillery shell, its carapace, flesh, and white liquid spraying everywhere. Even though it wasn't smashed completely to pieces, a giant hole appeared in its stomach, white liquid madly bubbling out. Its 50,000-year life force also came to a full stop in this instant. In midair, Tang San still didn't end his attack here. The strike with the clear sky hammer finished, he spun in the air using the rebound force, his left and right hand flashing alternately, then he floated to the ground. Clearly, if the attack just now couldn't finish the man-faced spider emperor, what awaited it was Tang San's left hand's Titan Firmament Breaker and the right hand's Sky Blue Fading Thunderclap. These two great spirit bone abilities both saved on spirit power and had astonishing power. Adding them in, Tang San could have completed an 11-hit combo of all kinds of abilities. Let alone this man-faced spider emperor, even the Dark Devil God Tiger from before might not have had a chance to counter if it had taken this full round of attacks. With his feet firmly on the ground, Tang San was in no hurry to check the man-faced spider emperor's corpse, instead sinking into reflection. The seamless combo just now was meticulously planned at the start, but by the end it was a stream of consciousness, practically second nature. That kind of feeling was especially wonderful. A powerful 50,000-year man-faced spider emperor couldn't manage a single effective attack before it met its end by his hand. Killing the enemy with a combo was even more exciting than instant kills. Whenever another skill followed, Tang San had a kind of cheerful carefree feeling, as if every part of his body was part of the battle. Powerful strength, suppressing the enemy so that it couldn't retaliate, and at the same time also fun. Of course, this didn't mean that Tang San had already successfully trained this combo ability. After all, he was extremely familiar with the man-faced demon spider, and at the end the 8 spider lances countered the man-faced demon spider's poison smoke. If he faced an even stronger enemy, whether he could combine it so perfectly was still an unknown quantity. But no matter what, Tang San understood that he had found a clear path. But the foundation of continuing down this path was to familiarize himself with each of the abilities he had. Only like this could he fluently string together attacks and use them in battle. A constant heat from behind him woke up Tang San. He discovered that the 8 spider lances on his back had all stabbed into the ground, absorbing the white liquid flowing from the man-faced spider emperor. That greedy absorption seemed as if it had found some great tonic, and his face showed a smile. Tang San knew that another opportunity for his 8 spider lances to evolve had come. Every part of this man-faced spider emperor could be used. Leaning forward slightly, using the 8 spider lances to support his body, his right hand used powerful controlling crane-catching dragon to pull over the sea god trident from the other side. The 8 spider lances all stabbed into the body of the man-faced demon spider corpse, and started to greedily suck its juices. Even though this man-faced spider emperor was a bit smaller than the man-faced demon spiders Tang San had seen before, how much of this blood-like thing could its 3-meter body contain? But the 8 spider lances on his back really kept swallowing without a trace of politeness, making the man-faced spider emperor's giant body gradually dry out. It didn't seem to want to give up before there was nothing left. Fortunately, its suction speed was very quick, and Tang San didn't need to worry about not having time to absorb the spirit ring afterward. Along with the 8 spider lances swallowing, Tang San only felt his back grow hotter and hotter. Especially the 8 ribs the 8 spider lances were attacked to constantly gave a feeling as if brimming with strength. Tang San discovered that, whether bone or muscles, his entire back was like a fused red-hot steel plate, an extremely clear feeling. Moreover, that strong feeling was like his back had grown a shield. The 8 spider lances constantly moved rhythmically, slowly shedding that blood-red color, replaced by the same white as that liquid. From Tang San's point of view, white clearly wasn't as dazzling as the intimidating feeling of blood red. Only he didn't seem to have a choice. The direction the 8 spider lances evolved in wasn't something he could influence. Gradually, Tang San discovered that the feeling of strength from his back grew richer and richer, the scalding hot energy indescribably comfortable in his veins and organs. Basically all his energy channels, bones and blood was already dyed a faint golden color, making his body somewhat leave the range of humanity. Right now, after the scorching hot feeling on his back reached a certain degree, Tang San discovered that the swelling feeling he had when absorbing spirit rings with Xiaowu before appeared again, but now only on his back. The sea god's light flared without the slightest hesitation, ice blue light quietly running over his back like the moistest lubricant. The scorching heat never disappeared, but that swelling feeling gradually vanished. At the same time Tang San also discovered through mental probes that the bones, muscles and energy channels on his back was developing towards a golden color that was darker than other places, actually already a bit like the color of the sea god trident. What was up? Could his back actually have preceded the rest of his body and stepped into the realm of divinity? But, he still hadn't started to accept the sea god's inheritance. Actually, Tang San himself didn't know that his inheritance had already started when he obtained the vast sea cosmic shroud, also the sea god's heart. The vast sea cosmic shroud had entered his body and always used the sea god's power to imperceptibly transform his body. Otherwise it wouldn't have been possible to have a swelling feeling after enduring so many spirit rings and spirit bones. But one use of sea god's light removed the limits of the human body, entering a level separate from humanity. All of this was actually the sea god's inheritance gradually changing him. Along with Tang San growing stronger and stronger, the sea god's heart plus the sea god's light naturally improved his body more and more. The first spirit bone Tang San obtained was the 8 spider lances. It had been with him the longest and this evolving spirit bone had changed practically every time Tang San grew stronger, and each time Tang San had obtained benefits. This was also why it could evolve so many times. When Tang San felt all his spirit bones grow hot before, it was actually the sea god's force changing his spirit bones. But the other spirit bones all had fixed cultivation, and improving them was a bit difficult, while the 8 spider lances didn't have that problem. It could evolve on its own, and was also Tang San's first spirit bone. Therefore, it definitely got the biggest advantages when it changed. At this moment, once again swallowing a man-faced spider emperor's essence, the quantitative changes finally caused a qualitative change. An evolution that shouldn't have taken place appeared. Right now, among Tang San's 6 spirit bones, the 8 spider lances was also the first to step into the god level. In some sense, it was like one of the 6 angelic raiment spirit bones. The rigid feeling on his back gradually disappeared. Tang San discovered that, besides the strength, the muscles of his back seemed to have become even more flexible. In his mind, that place was already completely golden, spreading from there all over his back. The 8 spider lances were also starting to slowly turn golden from the roots. The 8 spider lances had also turned golden before, but at that time they really weren't golden on the inside, but was rather the golden color of the blue-silver emperor. After using abilities, it had reverted back to red on its own. But this time was different. The 8 spider lances had thoroughly turned golden, and moreover, through the whole process, the sea god trident on Tang San's forehead sparkled. This time it had thoroughly stepped into the god level. At most it lacked the brand of the sea god. His whole back seemed covered by large sheets of armor plates, but they strangely didn't influence his movements in the slightest. The 8 spider lances stretched out. They were still 3 meters long, but fine dazzlingly beautiful patterns had appeared on the lances. These decorative patterns seemed streamlined, every 3 lines merging together into one, like the 3 blades of the sea god trident. With a thought from Tang San, the 8 spider lances moved automatically. Golden light flashed and a golden line of light shot out from the 8 spider lances, falling on a large tree not far away. This golden line didn't separate from the 8 spider lances, and not only did it easily penetrate the tree, Tang San immediately felt a weak energy pour into his body through the 8 spider lances. But that large tree also instantly withered, turning into windborne dust in the space of a breath, disappearing as if it had never been there to begin with. Was this still the 8 spider lance's draining ability? Tang San looked dumbstruck at that decorative pattern. The seemingly dazzling 8 spider lances left him speechless. When the 8 spider lances were used with the blue-silver domain, it could also launch draining golden threads that helped Tang San swallow the spirit power of enemies within the domain. But now that had become even more direct, even more powerful. There was basically no need for the domain. Besides draining, the golden threads the 8 spider lances shot had a piercing point attack ability all of their own, not only extremely durable, but moreover also the draining ability. If these stabbed an enemy, it was clear how they would end up. Of course, the 8 spider lances didn't just grow in this respect. Tang San vaguely discovered that, among his 8 spider lances, each one seemed to contain a special kind of energy. These energies seemed to be sealed and couldn't be used yet, but their energy startled Tang San. He could only be certain that the energy sealed within the 8 spider lances were related to his sea god's heart, but what the sea god's heart had done to the 8 spider lances was beyond Tang San's understanding at the moment. Regardless, Tang San only felt pleasant surprise. The 8 spider lance's super evolution made his strength rise another level. Even his spirit power had once again broken through along with the 8 spider lance's leap in evolution, actually directly breaking through rank 94 to the rank 95 level. One blue-silver tyrant spear, the character for king, changing to emperor. It ends here. Likes, subscribe, shares, comments. Hello ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are very free, try this interactive action by following the Instagram shown in the video and you guys can pick an episode to make the cover photo. I did not put any YouTube cover photos since episode 247 until now. Hence, you all can pick any favorite Soul Land photo and write the episode number big enough on the photo. Let's make this fun and see your own photo as the cover photo. Send me message on Instagram if you are interested to make the cover photo. It is not forceful, just a game between us, because some of are too free to ask for updates every day, so I thought why not make some cool photo to send me for post. If multiple persons send for the same episode, one will start a voting story on IG. See you all, stay safe, stay happy. Bye.